Week 3, round 4, playing against pproteus. Pproteus won the league week 1 and went 5-0, and then I think he only played like 2 matches week 2, so must have a really good deck though, because to go 5-0 to start is super solid. This hand is not very good, but it only takes 1 land, and then we get a Pilgrim's Eye, and rest of our hand is playable. So I decided to keep. We get another Heat Ray, which is interesting. He plays green, white, Oran Reef. Okay. We draw Plains, which is annoying. We would have preferred a Merchant, but we play our tap land. Planning on playing Pilgrim's Eye next turn. Looks like we're getting beat down for a little bit here. So we play Pilgrim's Eye. We have to find a mountain, which is just odd, because we have 4 red cards in hand and only 3 more left in deck. And there's only 2 black cards, but we just have to find a mountain here, but hopefully that doesn't come to bite us. And he's got a Hedron Rover, basically a Valakut Predator for 4 mana. So that thing is going to deal me a ton of damage unless I don't know. My options are Heat Ray it now, or try to block with Pilgrim's Eye and then cast Brute Strength and hope that it trades. But if he has any trick, that goes poorly for me, so I think I just Heat Ray it and bash for 1 since I'm not blocking. So I'm getting crushed by this 3/3. And now he's got Halimar Wave Watch, which is a really interesting card to splash, but I think it is a good card. I have Guardian Zendikon, which is strong. So I play that, leaving open Brute Strength. So my plan is to play the Brute Strength if he attacks. But he has Isolation Zone, so that was really bad for me. And it kills one of my land drops. That's really bad for me. So now I go down to 8, and he levels this guy up some more. So here I just kill his 3/3, since it would take 2 more mana for me to kill the Halimar Wave Watch. The problem is that he now has a 6/6, and it doesn't matter if it has Island Walk, it's just a 6/6, which is just huge. So now I only have one way of beating that, and it's to block, double block, and play Brute Strength, which I do. And it actually resolves, so I get a 2-for-1, or he gets a 2-for-1 out of it. Or a 3-for-1, actually. He gets 3 cards out of me. And then his follow-up is a bunch of creatures. So I have a bunch of creatures too. His follow-up is Saddleback Lagak, was like the perfect draw step for him. Anything to buff the core line Sinker that let him attack with it as flying as well. Complete Disregard is awful. If I just had a Touch of the Void, I'd be able to kill the core line Sinker, block, and go down to 1. But instead, I have to play this Career Griffin and chump again. And he attacks with everything. And I guess I just trade and block and hope to draw Touch of the Void or Sheer Drop or anything. And he's got another 1/5 though, and I don't draw. Oh, another thing to keep in mind is I don't have black mana, so the Pilgrim's Eye play killed me basically. Even if I could cast this Complete Disregard for value, yeah, I still would have died. So I kept a kind of loose hand, but I mean I didn't draw out of it very well, so his deck also was pretty aggressive and punished me for it. I had 2 removal spells that game that I cast, Heat Rays, and I saved a ton of damage by killing these 2 creatures. I could have been at just a lot lower life total if I would have killed the Halimar Wave Watch or something, so yep. Game 2, we get to be on the play. And this hand looks pretty good to me. So if I draw any land, I can play the Invoker on turn 3, and I do. So 2 mana 3/1 is pretty best opening aggressive start for me, so I get to start bashing him and play the Dawnglare Invoker. And his play is 1/5 reach on turn 3. Well, that was basically the most perfect card he could possibly have. Now my Sandstone Bridge doesn't even help me in terms of creating extra damage. I can't attack with anything. And all my creatures just can't beat a 1/5. Science Summoner makes matters worse. Heat Ray's okay, but a 5th land would have been nice just so I could get this Shorecap Spider out of the way so I could start attacking in the air. But I attack with the 3/1 first strike because I'm fine Heat Raying his guy if he blocks. And if he triple blocks, then it's bad for me, but he takes the bait and I just Heat Ray it. So I figure the way is maybe a little bit clear. His play is just a 2/2. Okay, so I think I'm doing okay here. Sheer Drop's not the best. Would have liked to have drawn a land there. So I attack with everything. Ooh, Searing Light? Ugh. That's brutal. If I just had like brute strength, then I would have been in fine shape here. It would have countered the spell and dealt him a ton of damage. He'd be at 9 life and I'd still have Dawnglare Invoker in play. So I just play my wall. Okay, plays shoulder to shoulder, gets in for some damage. I hit a land, but I don't really want to play Sheer Drop quite yet. So might as well play my Golem, find my only aura in the deck, so generate a little bit of value. Stops him from attacking, and now I make this attack because I'm at least killing one of his guys. I don't mind trading for the 2/2. I have the 06 wall anyway. But he's got another Searing Light. Jeez. That's annoying. So instead I just play this Guardian. He plays another Saddleback Legac, so his guys are getting huge. But he can't attack. Here I decide not to play a land. I'm not sure why I don't. I think I just want him to think that I have spells in hand. But I figure I have no good attacks anyway. So I could have played Iona's Judgment on his Horan Reef Recluse. And now that he plays this guy, I'm pretty certain that because he has 5 lands, a Scion, and the Channeler, he can make his 4/4 into a 9/9 trample. So this turn, I'm pretty certain I have to exile it. Problem is looks like he top deck land Ulamog's Crusher, so obviously my play would have been better to let him attack, and if he pumps, then I could Sheer Drop it the next turn, which allows me to have the Iona's Judgment open for the Ulamog's Crusher. But since I blew it, now I have to wait for the Ulamog's Crusher to hit me once before I Sheer Drop, which is really freaking annoying because I have to lose 2 lands basically. I need all my other spells. And now the biggest dagger of them all, he plays Mold Shambler, killing one of my lands. So now I can't even, because I held back land that one turn, I'm stuck. I can't awaken Sheer Drop. So I have to just cast it. So now I'm missing a 3/3. So I should just have a tapped 3/3 in play, you know? And he's got Rift kills my 3/1, which is kind of whatever, but either way, I was going to take 3 and go to 6 here, but one of my lands should be a 3/3 right now. And he plays the stuff, so if one of my lands is a 3/3 right now, and I complete disregard his guy after he tries to make it flying, so I get rid of it, and then I make my blocks. I would go block, block. One of my lands would be a 3/3, and I'd block his Scion, and then I would take 3 and go to 3. But instead, I'm dead. So yeah, played poorly and got punished. His deck also seems a lot better than mine. But he actually, it's kind of cool. He seems to be playing the same exact strategy as me, actually. I'm red, white, splash black for some removal to beat down, and he's just green, white, splash red for removal, and everything he has is beating down. The problem is he has some of the best cards in the format. In Ulamog's Crusher is definitely one of the best cards in the format. I think Mold Shambler is insanely good. I think Kozak's Channeler is insanely good. Saddleback Lagak is quite strong. Both these guys are great. The Oran Reef Invoker's a perfect 2-drop because it's on curve, but it doesn't become dead in the late game. It's an Invoker. Invokers are some of the best cards in this format, and so is Evasion and Allies. And yeah, so his deck seems solid. Very similar to mine, though. I think if we played a bunch of games over and over again, it would be decently close. Me not knowing the contents of his deck led me to use my removal at inopportune times, though. So deserving loss for sure. So we're 2-2 so far going into the last round of week 3, hoping to salvage a 3-2 so that we can maintain above 50% win rate. So yeah, so stay tuned.